We are going to create an email from scratch using a blank template. Now, of course, you can always use the top builder templates, the residential commercials. Those already have headers and graphics and stuff in them. But let's go ahead and just create this from fresh. So we're going to say new email communication.
Hang on, go back. We need to hit start recording.
I already did it, Eric.
You already did?
Yeah, I did. So let's keep going. So my subject, of course, for this one, I'll let you type in whatever you want. I'm going to put test. So when you come back and edit this to send, I'll let you put whatever you want in there. This is an announcement or an invitation.
An announcement.
Okay. And of course, Eric C. All right, so now let's pick the template. So we're going to choose the blank one. That way we can go ahead and work from this one.
But that's not the one I would normally choose every month, or is it?
Well, that's the one that this other one is on already. Is that what we're doing or not what we're doing?
Okay, I didn't know it was on the blank one.
Yeah, the other one is blank because it utilizes that graphic on the top as the header. If we go with any of these other ones, these already have header graphics. Usually top builder header graphics. So we'll go with the blank. That way we can use that header that you have. I'm going to let you pick your contacts, since you know how to do that part. Now for this guy, most of the templates, with the exception of your sidebar and your single, almost all of your templates just use a body. So just keep that in mind. So we're going to do everything down here in the body section. And in this case, we're going to do a lot of it as HTML. So I'm going to show you this. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to put in that header graphic. All right, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to insert an image. Now the good news is this image is already resized. Right, we sized it last time we did this. Moving forward, I've already talked to Dave about this. We're going to have something that will resize the image for you. You just need to tell it what size it needs to be, and it'll resize it for you. For now, though, let's use this one because it is properly sized.
And are you going to give me some sort of cheat sheet as to what size images are supposed to be?
They're always 650 pixels. Or that's the biggest they can be. Other than that, it's really a marketing decision, right? How big do you want it to look on the page? I mean, it's hard to say that a picture should be a specific size. It just can't be bigger than 650 pixels in width. That's really the only guideline that we have.
All right, 650 pixels of width.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I'm going to go ahead and click OK here. That'll pop that in there.
And it's okay that I don't see it all the way across.
Yep. And so now we're just going to jump down below it to make sure our cursor is sitting below it so that we're not adding stuff to this line. So the next key is, let's go back to this one. How do we want these next pieces to show up, right? So on this, we've got like this picture on the left with some text on the right. Down below it, we've got the opposite. So when we look at this email that you sent me, or I'm sorry, that we're putting in, how do we want this separated within that template using that layout?
Well, there's basically two things. There's the Best Practices Summit, and then there's the webinar. So for this email, I guess we only really need two graphics, and so text on the right, text on the left, and then that's it.
So then now the next step is we got to figure out whether we want that text on the left or the right. So let me show you this. This is where the modular email portion comes in. So I've got the Content Center open. And you're going to see if you come under Sales Collateral, all of these are HTML or graphic email templates. And you'll get all of my blocks pop up. All right, so right now I only put 9 of them in there just to make it not overwhelming. I have like 30 of them. So what we're going to do, we want to insert a little guy that looks like this, right? That has an image and some text.
Right.
So that is this picture, text, side-by-side block. Now it matters whether or not the text is on the left or the text is on the right. How do you want to go with this first one?
The first one I want is the text on the right, picture on the left.
Okay. So what we're going to do then, we're going to use this one because this is text on the right. So we're going to edit this item. That way the editor pops up and I can get to the HTML side of it. All right, so this pops up. I've got some lorem ipsum in there and a placeholder image. And what we want to do is click on the HTML tab. And I've added these little guys here. I want you to notice these. All right, so these are not part of the code. What this is it's called a thematic break. When you start building this, you'll know that this is specifically this block with the picture on the left with the text on the right, because it is called an SBS block right. All right, now I even tell you where that block starts and where that block ends, so that once you've got this thing built out, you know where every section is under the HTML when you look at it. And I'll show you what I mean here. So what we're going to do is put this in and then edit it. So I'm going to select it all and I'm going to copy it. The key to this is, and I have talked to Dave about this, we need to change this, but you can't right click and copy. All right, go ahead. What was your question there?
No, I just said, okay, so
okay.
You have to highlight it and Control C?
Exactly, what they call the fingerboard or the keyboard dance. So
Yeah.
Control C it, and then I'm just going to come right back over here, and this is handy because I can keep that window open at the same time. So what I'm going to do here is I want to go to the HTML section. All right, my header here, everything in HTML that needs a space after it ends with this thing called a break. And that's what that BR is. So when you see a BR, that means break. That means it's going to create a space.
Did that just show up? You didn't put that in there.
That was part of it. When we loaded that header image, this is the actual HTML of what creates that image in its place. And so what we want to do to insert something after it, we want to enter it. Okay, so we move past that line. And here's a handy little thing to know. HTML ignores spaces. All right, it is best if you put an extra space between each block so they're easier to separate in your mind. So what I did is I hit enter twice. All right, so here's my cursor, and now I'm going to pop that cell in that I just copied. So copy paste.
Right.
When I go back to design, there's the header, there's the image, there's the text. So what we need to do now is replace old lorem ipsum here, and we need to replace this placeholder.
Okay.
The way that we do this, to replace this picture, it's as easy as clicking it and right-clicking it. You'll see something that says change image. On all of my placeholders, I tell you, when you look at this, you can see this placeholder is 200 pixels wide. That doesn't mean you can't make an image that's bigger. It just means that it's going to eat into the text more. All right, so when I look at this, I know how much room I have for text.
Okay.
I could put a 300 pixel image here if I wanted. I could split the difference and have this half and half if that's what I wanted. It doesn't matter that this is a 200 pixel placeholder. I can replace it with whatever I want. So what I do is I right click it and I say change image. And what we're going to do, let's go actually find one of these little marketing images that I've made before. We can change it again, of course. But let's go out here to sales and marketing. Oh, nope, sorry, I forgot. Top Builder commercial, sales and marketing. Oh, where did he put all my logos? Oh, he moved them again. Okay, sorry. Something moved. Let's go to graphics. Oh no, he moved graphics too. Oh Lord. I'm sorry, Dave did some stuff to the structure here. Give me a second.
No problem.
Where did he move it? Sales and marketing. Sales collateral. Email content. Okay, here we are. Let's just go grab one of those little fun images I made before. The piggy with the arrow up his butt.
The Let's use the piggy for the cash flow one instead.
Well, we can replace it. I just wanted to pop it. Well, here, I mean, if you have one that you want to use, hold on.
No, I mean, join us is the right one for the first one that we're doing.
So let's pop that one in there. We can change it if we need to.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, okay. And so now, here's our little guy. And now we need to replace lorem ipsum over here with, let's go to the email. How much of this and what goes in that text field now?
I mean, we can't put all of it in the text field, but there's 3 distinct links. I want them to be able to click on the summit, click on the speaking engagement, and click on the register. So there's 3 buttons they need to click on.
So all of this needs to be under that one section there.
Yeah, or we need to make it longer or something. Yeah.
We can do that. So let's replace old Loris Ipsum here then. All right. So at the moment, this is 18-point Helvetica. This is kind of the basic that Dave programmed into our template. We can make this bigger. We can make this larger. Right?
I mean, is it the same as what I see in Microsoft Word?
On the what now?
Is it the same as what I see in Microsoft Word? Because I like Arial as well, basically.
Okay, let's go with Arial. I like Arial as well. In fact, Arial, one of the most easily readable fonts known to man.
Don't you want the second one down?
There it is. So now that is all Arial 12-point font.
Hold on, I'm confused. Because I would have changed where it said Helvetica 16, I would have changed that to Arial. And you changed the one above it in your section and it changed the font.
Yep, that's Arial.
Okay, but my confusion is you changed the where it says Arial in the heading instead of Helvetica in the body.
Yeah. No, I changed it down here. Look. Oh, no, you may be right. I might have just been, I don't know why I was looking up there. So let's switch it.
Okay.
Darn it. You know what? Here's an easy way. If you see this on my screen, this is what we call a font style.
Yeah.
So if you ever really want to shoehorn this in and make it specifically Arial,
I am not going to do this, John. It has to work with the design tab. If it's not working with the design tab, then something's wrong with the editor.
no, I mean, so the thing is, this is not part of our editor. We're going to try and change the system to make all of this work better and flow better. But currently, this is not part of our system. This is test. This is experimental. This is a prototype. So no, our system doesn't do all of that stuff. You are correct. It doesn't. Not at the moment.
How do our customers who don't know HTML change it from Helvetica or whatever it shows as to what they want?
Yeah, the good news is our customers aren't going to see that. This isn't rolling out to our customers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't get this. When this is ready to go, our customers will get this. This is prototype. They won't ever see this right now. It's just me and you.
Okay.
So right now, this is Arial 16-point. And you can see when I clicked on it, it did switch. So I can either do that here, or I can do it through the HTML. I was just showing the HTML because what happens here is I can switch this to Arial. But because Helvetica was actually listed first, and so was sans serif, when a customer gets this email, I may have said I wanted to see Arial in the editor, but if they own the sans serif or Helvetica font, they will see those fonts before they see this one.
Right.
So this is what this is this is placed in order of importance. It says when my customer gets this email, they will see it in sans serif. Unless they don't own sans serif, in which case they'll get Helvetica. And if they don't own Helvetica, they got Arial. Now the thing is they do, everyone owns these 3 fonts. And it's why Dave put them in there. But if you want Arial, and you want to force Arial, and you say when the customer gets this, they only see Arial, it's easy to just come in here and just take out everything that doesn't say Arial under that font, and you will have forced the system to utilize that font and only that font in this particular thing right here. Now I can add another thing and do a completely different one if I need to, but this one will only use Arial. This particular box.
And it's 16 px. What does the px stand for?
Pixels. So that's a 16 pixel font.
Okay, so I know it is a 16 font, but I guess that's not okay. Is 16 a standard size? Because that's awfully big for like an email or something.
Yeah, actually 18 is standard. 16 is a little bit smaller than standard.
Oh, okay. All right.
We may also be seeing it a little bigger because I have blown my screen up, by the way. And so we're kind of seeing this at a super high resolution at the moment. So we may be kind of looking at it a little more skewed than what you would see it like, say, if you were on yours, on a laptop or something.
Right.
Now we also need to get these links live. And I know you've done this before, but the easiest way to do this, of course, is just to copy the hyperlink.
Yeah.
2018 Best Practices Summit, this little guy right here. Link. URL. I want to make sure. Yep, okay, good. Looks like click through and everything is in there. So, okay.
Don't you want it to open in a new window?
Do I now?
Don't you want it to open in a new window?
Oh, you mean like when they click the link?
Yeah, when you click that link there, you always check the box that says open in a new window.
I gotcha. Yeah, we can do that. There. All that does is just adds a little style guide to the end of it that's called blank. All right, so 2018. The next one is the cells environment. That line. Okay. Register here. And by the way, if we wanted a button instead of words, we could put a button.
Well, I think we should talk about that, because otherwise all that we're doing is changing the ugly email that I had to one that has a graphic on the left. And so I don't know what this is going to look like. Well, I guess we can come back and change it again, but
yeah, we can.
Kind of the less words the better, but then again, we can't just have a register button, because I'm trying to tell them to register with a discount.
Yeah, you're right. This is a call to action, and that's hard to do with just a plain old button. Yeah, I actually think it would be better to leave this as text, because that gives them some inside information as to what that link is trying to do for them, and maybe why it's a better deal than just a button. So yeah, so we'll leave that way. But just know, I do have all of the buttons that Dave created as these modular blocks in this system, so that you have a way to put those buttons in easily. All right, so we've got this one done. All right, so that's this section. So that part's done. So if we look at the HTML now, what we got is a pretty wild piece of HTML there, but we can still tell where that block starts and where that block ends. All right, so now we can put in the next block. Do we want to do the same arrangement where the picture's on the left, text is on the right?
No, text on the left.
Text on the left, picture on the right this time. Okay. So now we'll use the other one, the text side by side block left. So let me pull that one up here. And let's grab the HTML. Pop back over here and paste it in. All right, so now here's our next block. And there it is. So now we've got our picture on the right, our text on the left. Let's go switch that picture.
On these pictures that you created, what What's the difference in those two things? One's got an arrow.
Remember that? That was the first one I created, and you said it looked like the arrow was up his butt. So we made one without it.
Yeah. Do we have the ability to create generic images like in the BDX email? Because I think they look so much better. Well, these are clever and cute, but if you go back to the BDX email, don't you think it looks so much better?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I really hate little images like that. Thumbnails. They're not clear at all. It just looks like somebody took a screenshot and sized it down. But that's up to you. Whatever you want on it. I mean, this would not be my first choice. In fact, when I saw this, my first thought was, I hate that. I hate that they framed it in a little stupid monitor that is clearly a vector. And I'm really not fond of their screenshots.
Yeah, I don't like the framing of the monitor. That's cheesy.
I mean, like the screenshots, the text is all tiny. You can't even see what the hell this is. It just looks like they took a screenshot and thumbnailed it.
Yeah.
It looks lazy.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can do whatever you want with this. That's kind of the nice thing about right-clicking that image is it just basically says, hey, put an image in here. And we can pop it in. So you could come back and say, I'm not real fond of the pig. And swap that out.
If I had some brilliant image that I wanted to use, I guess I could.
And you can even come back to me and say, I need a graphic for this. I don't mind creating graphics. I may be busy and I might have to put it off for an hour or two, but I'm always happy to try and get you some graphics that are unique and eye-catching. That's up to you.
If I went to Google Images right this second and I found some image that I liked for cash flow and I could copy it and save it, does that mean it's royalty free and I could use it or no?
Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes it is royalty free, kind of depending upon where you get it from. You have to watch and make sure there's no boilerplate or anything on the website that says you can't use their images or their content. All of these images I create, for instance, if I pull a glyph from somewhere, I actually have a sheet where I record every single place I bought these glyphs, how much I paid for them, when I got them and downloaded them. So if anyone ever comes back to Top Builder and says, hey, that's my pig, I can go, yeah, I got that off of Deposit Photos for 35 cents. So I'm always real careful about that stuff. So you got to kind of be careful about that content because Google doesn't necessarily tell you whether it's protected or not. They just put it out there because it's a searchable image.
Yeah. So is there somewhere I can go look for images we could use for 35 cents?
I mean, there's a lot of places. Stock photo, any place that sells stock photos, like Shutterstock. I use one called Deposit Photos that's real nice. And on Deposit Photos, by the way, that's a good one because if you find one you like, all you have to do is tell me which one it is, and I'll get it. I pay for a subscription to Deposit Photos, and I think I have. Hold on, let's just look.
Yeah, if you go out to Deposit Photos and look for one for cash flow, I'm hoping to find dollar bills coming out of a faucet like I can in Google Images.
Yeah, I have 211 downloads as part of my flexible plan already. So if you find something you like, I can get it.
Can you just search for cash flow and see if something comes up?
Shitloads of stuff is going to come up.
Yeah, just scroll down a little bit, slow in time. I won't spend a lot of time doing this, but. And are these all different prices?
No, I mean generally they can be.
You see that with the dollar bills coming out of it?
This one?
Second line. Next to the guy, I don't see your.
Oh, this one right here. The money tab. This guy?
Yeah, that looks good to me.
Yeah, this is just one of my standard downloads. See, I pay for a license. I don't pay per. I get so many downloads a month, and right now, like I said, I have 211 downloads I can make.
You use this image then?
And I do use this for personal use as well, but that's why Top Builder doesn't pay for it. But I'm happy to to get stuff off here if we need it.
I mean, Top Builder can pay. I'm sure you'd be reasonable, whatever I don't know what the price is, but.
This is $30 a month.
Okay. So
and it's like,
and how many images do you get for $30 a month?
I think I get 30 a month. Let's see. Flexible plan. Oh, I pay $25 a month. I get 25 downloads or $25 a month.
Right. So Top Builder Solutions owes you a buck.
Nah, they don't owe me anything. Trust me. I've owned this account for so long, that's why I've built up 211 downloads. I use this to create images for my DJ stuff. So all that art on my SoundCloud, most of it is stuff that I've compiled. Pieces from here.
Okay. So let's try and get on with this. And so what size would you want?
Well, so this one is already, this 300 by 500 is already pretty much sized. Right, that actually is a good size because that'll take up about half of the frame. So let's get this one. So we'll go download image. Wait for it to pop up at the bottom there and tell me it is downloading. Oh, right, I'm in Chrome. It doesn't do that. Oh, yes, it does. There it is. All right. Thank you, Chrome, for proving me wrong yet again. So let's go back. So cash flow, replacing the piggy.
Yep.
And let's replace that piggy with deposit photos number 915. Look at that. It even already has the transparency behind it. It looks beautiful. So let's change old Laura Sipsum here into these. All right, let's go ahead and force Arial on this one too, since we did it on the other one. We want to keep this consistent.
Okay.
And of course, I'm going to force 16-point font. Okay, so we've got both of them here.
Yeah.
Let's.
The first, I want to change the image on the first one too because one looks good and one doesn't really match.
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll do it. Let's, I don't know why I keep right-clicking that like that's something. There we go. And the last one here, presented by Scott Stroud. There it is.
Does that hurt our deliverability when we link things to other places?
Not necessarily. Well, you're kind of on a track there. It can. All right. So, for instance, if I put nothing but external links in here, yeah, it might look at that and it might say, so this is coming from the Top Builder domain, but not a single link in this is to Top Builder. Why are they all external links? And so, in some cases, yes, it might think this is a phishing scam. They're just looking for somebody to click any one of these links and it's going to push them to an external site. That may not be true, but you are correct. A sort of an overactive filter might see it that way if you have a ton. Now, when I say a ton, I mean every single link on here, and we'd probably need a link in every one of these every single line in here would probably need a link. And I will tell you too, it also makes a big difference on how many links there are at the bottom. The further down you go, you try and get fewer links.
Okay.
More links at the bottom tend to make spam filters think of things like opt-out filters and hidden opt-out filters. So you got to kind of watch for that stuff.
Right now, there's no link to Top Builder Solutions other than the very bottom where you can unsubscribe. Do we need to put a link in somewhere, like more information at topbuildersolutions.com or something?
Actually, whether you know it or not, there is a hidden link at the top of every template. It's not something I program in. It's a default that Dave placed. It's how we record reads and clicks. There's a little piece of HTML at the beginning of this that feeds back to our server What it does is it loads an invisible 1 pixel wide picture right here.
Okay.
You can't even see it. I can't even select it.
Okay.
But it loads that image. It forces them to connect to our server. That actually should, that one little act should bypass any problems with spam filters. The only reason why we hit a spam filter at this point is an overactive spam filter that says, gee, look at all these links, and hey, there's an opt-out footer at the bottom. There's nothing we can do about that. I mean, that's a one-off situation. You know, that's grandma on AOL using NetNanny. It's not, you know, so-and-so ABC company. Their net filter's not going to do that. But NetNanny will, so.
That makes sense. Okay. So can we go look for a photo that is something we could use for an education summit? Let's search education summit. Let's just see what comes up.
Misspelled.
2 M's.
Oh, I did just put one M in there, didn't I? I think that's what I did when I hit the typo there. Okay, so educational summit. There's quite a bit of stuff here. Lots of the same good-looking dude in a suit talking to people.
The one on the very top with the screen would be perfect, except there's nothing on the screen, so that's a subliminal message that you're going to receive nothing.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
I gotcha. You know what, though? Well, I was going to say, we could put something there. It might be a little bit weird, but we could put something there.
Can we put a CRM or, I don't know.
Let's see. Ooh! That is a big damn image. Even at its smallest.
Let's go find something else. I don't know.
Yeah. We would probably be best trying to find something that's more narrow than it is wide. At least for this particular format.
Yeah, so let's go down a little bit. Let me just see what else is there. That one right above your cursor with the lady with the ponytail.
Lady with the ponytail.
Above your cursor.
Oh, her? Oh, no. My cursor. I can't even see my cursor. What you're talking about?
So I don't know where your cursor is.
Cursor. And she's got a ponytail? Am I tripping? You're not talking about this little guy, are you?
Well, right above it and to the right. One up.
This one.
Yeah. That's not a bad option. And then right below that little Tibetan girl, there's another one.
This one right here?
The white shirt. Below the Tibetan girl.
This one?
No, go to the Tibetan girl and go one down.
This one.
Yes. That's not so bad either.
So we've got that guy, and we've got this one. I kind of like this one because it's a little more nebulous.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Just get it. I won't take. It doesn't have to be exact. I just want something that's acceptable.
Let me scroll down a little just to give you a couple more options. Here's a.
Actually, the one. You see the lady with her arms folded in the white shirt?
Yeah.
The one right above that is not bad. Let's use that one.
Oh, it didn't open in a new window. I thought I told it to. Open a new tab. This one?
Yeah.
Mr. Speaks with his hands? Okay, so let's go with this one. So I'm going to do this one in a 500 pixel, and what we're going to do is trim it. We're going to take some of this excess crap off the sides and just focus a little more on that guy.
Yeah.
So let me download that. This is it right here. Let me get it open in Photoshop. And what we'll try and do is get this down to 300 pixels. That way it matches the other one in its size. Sometimes easier said than done, but let's see what we can get for 300 pixels here.
I'll chop off the left because he's a little to the right of center.
Yep. So you're going to see me just sort of select here. Don't worry. What I'm doing is I'm actually going to I'm going to size my bounding box first at 300 pixels. Now I'm just going to move that. This way. All right. Can you see my little marching ants, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that 300 pixels right there?
That's 300 pixels.
Okay, that's good.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Let me crop it. Save. Yep. Maximum size. Okay. Now, let's change the image. Let's find that little guy that I just resized. And voila. Alright, so now we've got Mr. Talks with his hands and Money Faucet. What else do we need in there? I think everything else is just boilerplate. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. That's our standard footer. So that is the end of that email. Is there anything else you wanted in there?
No. Let's look up a preview and see, how much better this looks than that other. Okay. Go ahead and send it to yourself and then to me if you don't mind. And then,
Yeah, I'm going to send you a test and I'm going to send me a test.
yeah.
Okay, those are on their way. Should have them in just a few seconds. Oh, that was just a, sorry, support. There we go. Tests can take anywhere from 15 seconds to 5 minutes. Depending upon how many people are requesting tests. Oh, and it is, yeah, it is afternoon. I bet we actually do have a lot of people requesting tests right now. This is heavy email marketing time right now. Yeah.
Right, I'll check my outlook a couple times. You can say, oh, I got it.
Okay, good. Mine has not arrived yet.
Everyone always has to hit the download pictures button, I presume. So, for me, the text is too large, and the pictures are much larger than the text. The top picture is too small, and the text is too large, and the bottom one, the picture is too large. So, I'm curious to see what your text looks like.
Let's change text size.
Well, hang on, before you do that, I would like to see what it looks like on your end. Can you check your outlook? Yeah, so that's how it looks on mine too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is, but it's a lot of text too. One thing we could do, I'll throw this out there. I guess I could add some white space to the top and bottom of this picture so that it centers a little more in it, or we could just make this text smaller. That's up to you.
Let's do a little bit of both. So your text doesn't look so big, actually. Let's make the text one step smaller, one font size smaller. I can take out a few words.
Yeah, let me make these 15 point.
You don't have to go change your
Well, yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to do this through the designer. That way I don't mess up the styles. We really got to go to 14. That's right. This was a true type font. There is no step between.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's do this one.
This one actually, we got to make them the same. But this one, it's almost like a picture. It's too long.
It is a big picture. It's 300 pixels by 500 pixels tall.
Can we crop that picture?
Yeah, we'll crop the money out of it.
Well, not the money exactly, but maybe the bottom of the money. Let's go to that picture and see if we can crop it a little bit. So let's crop the white space off the top and some of the money off the bottom, like right a little bit higher.
Maybe about right there, just so you get that curl in the bottom.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's
Looks pretty
better.
good. Let me see what image size we're looking at now. That took it down to 386. That chopped a pretty good chunk off of it. Oh, I'm not trying to select pixels. Damn it, stop it. All right. Save. Okay. Change. All right, that does fit a little bit better. Let's
Mhm.
so let's take this and add a little bit of white space to it.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to determine how big that white space is. That white space is 425 pixels. Let's split the difference.
That's
Right at
425 total.
Yep, 425 total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 220 pixels of white space to the top and bottom of this.
You mean 212?
Wait, how many did I say? Did I say 450 or 425?
425.
Oh yeah, 430 total. Okay, yeah, so 212. So yeah, we'll split the difference. We'll go 212, top and bottom. The good news is, God, I am not trying to select pixels. This is some new thing that they've just added, and I hate it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to change the canvas size. And we need to add 200, well, so we need to add 425 pixels total.
The total is 430, so if you're trying to take 333 plus 430, it's 763.
Yeah, 763. That looks like a whole lot of white space. Something's not translating. Well, you know what? Hold on. I do want to look at it with this amount of white space first, just to see. And then we can crop it based off of where it looks, what it looks like in here.
Yeah, that looks like way too much white space.
I do believe it's going to be.
Well, maybe not.
Change image. Well, that's our good old HTML showing it to us. So let's grab. Wait, no, it was this one. It was this one. Yeah, I bet I did that. It's too much. All right, so that definitely was a little bit much. Got it.
You can go shorten some of the words, I suppose. But there's
Much better.
much better. And if I shorten the words, even better. That one, I'm probably not going to shorten the words because the text actually, it's almost like the text needs a space or two at the top to then go down with the image.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe put one here, and maybe even an extra one in between this last line.
Yeah.
Let's just see what it looks like. So let's go cash flow. Just add an NBSP right there, one right there.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, that centered it.
Yeah, good. Okay, I think it's done.
Let's send ourselves one more test, just to
Yep.
be super careful about it. Make sure my image editing did work, because this window always looks perfect. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what we're going to send out.
Yeah.
Alright, now we just need to get this last test in here. Now, once we get all of the new pieces that go along with this modular system will be a lot more intuitive. But I mean, do you at least kind of see what it's about? Being able to take those blocks and just toss them in there and create the email that you want, the look you want.
Yeah, I think if you go back to the content center, I mean, I think you've done a great job. It makes good sense to me. If ever I could get to where I could just type a sentence by some image, then I could see we'd have 4 blocks, but I don't know if that's the case. But so I've got the header image block, a horizontal line, a blue and bold, picture, read more, register. Okay. I mean, those 9 items, like, are probably the main items, right? So,
and just so you know, there is a difference between a separation line and a horizontal line. This is the top builder horizontal line. If you've never seen this before, well, I know you have. You just may not know it without thinking about it. It's this guy. Kind of fades out on the ends.
Yeah, I've seen that.
We use that a lot. You can't change the color of it. It's kind of a grayish brown.
Yeah.
But that's a kind of a stylistic separation line. I also just have what is just known as a hard separation. This is an HR line that I can make any color I want. I can make it red if I wanted to. But all it is a single pixel line that just runs across the screen. Just like that. Nice little divide. So if you ever need to create a divide between something, you just pop this little piece of HTML in between it, and this will create a nice little separation divide in there.
Would our email look better with that in there, or not as good with that in there?
I don't know. You know, I was thinking about that when we were doing it, whether it needed a divide, but you know, sometimes though a divide, I don't know, let's see. I mean, if it sucks, we just take it out.
Yeah, I've got my test, I'm looking at it.
So let me come in here, enter email content. And what's nice is this block system makes it easy to insert this. Because what I do now is I just come down and look for the end of SBS block right and the beginning of left, and I pop this right in between them. And now I've got a separation line.
I guess I don't think it needs it. Well, maybe it's better with it.
And by the way, we can also shorten it. I can come into this line, and if I don't want it to go all the way across, I can actually change the length of it. You'll notice it's 650 pixels wide right now. Well, I could just have it 400 if not 4,000. But I could just make it 400 if I wanted. And then I do have to center it, of course. But generally speaking, you probably do want it to cut all the way across. Otherwise, you end up with sort of a weird indentation on it. But that's, I mean, I think it looks pretty decent with the little line on there. I don't know if we necessarily need it or not. That's up to you.
Well, I like the line.
Let's look at some tests with it on there. Perspective is everything. Let's check it out. See what it looks like as a finished. Okay, this is the other one that I sent myself just a minute ago. Let me wait for the new one. There we go. Yeah, and just puts a nice little break
Yeah,
in
I
between these.
like the line actually.
Do we need any other lines? Do you want them separating anything else? Cutting the end?
I like that one line, although if I could, I'd probably make it a dove gray instead of what looks like a dark gray, but...
Yeah, we can do that. So let's go in.
Because it looks a lot lighter in our email editor than it does in real life.
Yeah, currently I believe I have this as a color 000, which is straight up black. Let's see. Oh! I did not add a color option for this. Well, okay. I can fix that.
And then we have to have a color option. What kind of company would it be if we couldn't do a red line?
Let me figure out, let's see, what is the best way to add this in there? We'll just add it as a 000 for the moment. We'll put it in for font family. So let's see, what color do we want this?
I'm picking up from there.
Do you want to go a little lighter?
Lighter, 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 lighter.
We're in the whites now.
Right there.
All right, so let's go with the B4, B4, B4.
That's easy to remember. Before, before, before.
Before, before, before. All right.
I knew it was a lot of work to make these emails look good, and there's so many like little nuances. But in this case, this is one that I would save as and reuse.
Well, you know, that's kind of what's going to be nice about these modular ones, is it'll make it easy to go out there and do it. You know, it didn't really lighten it too much.
You got that just that close. Oh. It didn't lighten it hardly at all.
Yeah, it's, for some reason, it's still running it across there as a...
Are you sure you put the HTML code in there? In the right place?
Yep. You know, I wonder if...
Did you save it?
HR.
With a line like that, does it still require
second.
sans serif and Helvetica and stuff? And does it care about font and size of the line?
Wait a second, I don't remember that being in there when I copied and pasted it, actually. No, it's all this other stuff. It's this style. What on earth? That better not be in my buttons. I'm gonna have to go look. It's the style. The style means nothing. I don't need a table in there. Oh. I see what it did. I see what happened. Nope, this was my fault. HR. I stuck that HR before the table, which meant it didn't actually take on any of the styles that we just told it to.
So
now,
about the font?
now I will carry it over. Well, this is just a table style. We use a standard table style. And this would also be, for instance, I could put text right in the same table with a line if I wanted to. Like if I wanted text to border that line, almost like the line was underlining it. I could actually do that with the text. So we do have a style in there in case you want to put a span in there. That will work. So let me put the color back in there now. And it was before. 3 of them. Okay. That should give us what we're looking for. Since I put that in, oh, it looks like it did. Okay, send. Yeah, somehow I ended up with that HR outside of the table. I am not entirely sure how I did that. The good news is it's fixable. So let's get this new test in here. Come on, test, come on through. Eventually, we're going to get it. I wish I had something that just auto-queried every 5 seconds. That's what I need.
Yeah, I don't know if mine does it or not. I swear, I think it And sometimes I'll go back there and there's no emails, and then I have to hit send and receive them. I don't know what the difference is. 1 second.
I don't know, that line still looks awfully dark. It is definitely a different color of gray, but it's still pretty dark. It's still pretty dark. You know, I don't think this thing is adding pixel padding or anything. That seems weird that it would. I mean, that would be... Let me just make sure. Let me look at the HTML.
No, yep. I'm sorry, just hang on 1 second. Rick Davis calling me, just a second.
Alright, come on. Send me my test.
I'm not sure. My call just dropped with Dave. Okay.
Yeah, it is the right color, but what it's doing is it's actually expanding that out past just a single pixel, and I'm not sure why. That's not in my HTML. That is odd. It didn't do this when I tested it. I don't know if there's something that's overriding this.
It's okay. I mean, the line that we have is okay. It's better if it was not so harsh. If you take out all that other stuff, it doesn't matter.
Let's see, maybe if I've got a redundant width in there. I don't think so.
Does this kind of stuff annoy you when you get obsessed with it? See, it's perfect on the screen.
Yeah, I know. See, that's what's killing me. So what this screen does is this screen just translates the HTML directly. So my HTML is perfect. It is Outlook that is fucking this up, and I'm not sure why. I don't get it. It is a different line.
Yeah.
You can see in here, this is a 1 pixel thick gray line, but when I look at it in Outlook, this is not a pixel. I mean, that letter is 16 pixels tall. That's at least 3 pixels.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing this. This is an Outlook thing, and you know, this is why we always tell people you have to be careful with HTML, because Outlook does not see HTML the same way the internet does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to troubleshoot and figure out why Outlook is doing it that way, because I use this same line in all sorts of marketing pieces, and it doesn't normally do this.
Strange.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll edit this a little bit sometime tonight. I'll probably have Dave review the contacts, because I would be sending this to all of our ResCon contacts.
Yeah.
Now, I know some of our ResCons are wrong. They're really ComCons. I don't know how or why, but I've caught several of them, and I can't see any rhyme or reason. But that's just too bad. I mean, for whatever reason, it's screwed up, and so some of our ComCons are going to get our ResCon even. And I can't, unless I'm going to go through thousands of contacts on a spreadsheet for some database mining, I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's...
Okay.
Let me make sure all this is saved. Okay. Well, it's basically ready to go. I mean, it'll need, a subject put in there, of course, because we don't want to send them test. And then any changes that you might want to make, to wording or whatever.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's ready to go. And then if you need any help with images or anything, let me know.
Thank you. Is it the top one in the list?
It should be. And I believe it shows I created it just because it came from mine. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the test one.
It is. And right now it is entirely consequence free.
So right now we can delete that and get in on the Best Tool Building Practices Summit so as not to confuse anything.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that one right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's been a while since we've sent out a mass email. It's February 8th.
Oh, wow. Well, it's about time then.
All right, well, Don, thank you so much for this. This made sense to me, although I probably listened to the recording. I will convert the recording as soon as we hang up.
Cool. And just so you know, anytime you find a template you like, you know, maybe if it's not even the whole template, if you come to me and you say, I really like this one element on here, I want something that looks like this, I'll build it for you into a block and put it into the content center so that you have that element that you can use in there. So just let me know if you ever find something that you just absolutely want. Even if it's something like this. You know, if you tell me, hey, I need a screen that I can throw a screenshot in, I can do that for you. I can make that happen.
Okay. Well, you'll never see a monitor frame for me, but
yeah, I'm not a big fan of this kind of stuff. That's why I was really glad when we got rid of some of that stuff in our marketing.
Yeah. I mean, I do like this email. There's a lot of white space. I think the top banner works particularly well. I wouldn't mind having that for ourselves too, but obviously those pictures don't resonate with us. But that's good technology expertise to work for you, or something like that. I think this email works well because of who they're selling. They're selling to marketing managers who like pictures. So that works well.
Yeah, the only thing I would change is I wouldn't have used gray space. I would have used white space.
Yeah, I would have used white space too.
You know, that way it kind of hovered in the page and looked like it was a part of all of the other white space in there. But yeah, I mean, it is a really nice looking email. It's really poorly put together HTML-wise, though, I gotta tell you.
What is it?
I looked at the code behind this. This is net code. This is not email code. It looks okay for us, but I can guarantee you, half the people they sent this to, it doesn't look like this.
Wow.
They use
I stopped recording, by the way.
They use some really